on. So Timberwolves versus the Warriors. They play on Wednesday, and if you're watching this on the video, they technically play today. Who you taking? Obviously, I'm taking the Warriors. The Warriors dog walk the Timberwolves in China. I don't see it as being any different. The Timberwolves will not be able to keep up with the Warriors' pace. I don't think that the Timberwolves will be able to score enough points overall. I don't even necessarily know if they're going to be able to put up the amount of shots that they would be needed and able to be put up. Karl Anthony Towns this year has looked kind of pedestrian. He's only averaging 20. He's only averaging 21 and 11.
You said 21 and 11 was pedestrian. What
coming off a year when he averaged didn't he average 24 last year?
25.
Like 25 and what?
Yeah,
like 25 and no.
Jimmy wasn't there.
He's not playing as well as he was playing.
Jimmy wasn't there.
He's
Crawford
not
wasn't
playing as well as he was playing last year though.
But listen, also I think his stats last year were slightly inflated because again, he has way more people this year to take shots for him than last year. Like even Wiggins is only averaging 19 this year, but I still think Wiggins is a much better player this year than he was last year. There's just more people to take shots now. Last year there was 2 people to take shots. After Levine went down, there was 2 people to take shots, Wiggins and Towns. That's it. So of course they're gonna average like 25. Ain't nobody else shooting.
I still think for this year for Karl Anthony Towns, I was expecting him to make another leap, and at this rate, I don't necessarily know if he is an all-star player. And I was expecting him to come into this year and be an all-star player.
Defensively,
so he needs to be an all-star player for them to even have a chance against the Warriors.
Defense is what's holding them back. Like, he has a lot of defensive lapses. Even though he's averaging 2 blocks, this is, again, why I think blocks and steals are one of the most overrated stats in basketball. Because you can average 2 blocks and not be a very good defender. You can average 2 steals and not be a very good defender. Towns has a lot of defensive lapses. It actually surprised me his team has a lot of defensive lapses because Tibbs is the coach. And Tibbs is also known for his defense.
Yeah, but you can't teach defensive mindset. And I think that's the thing that they were bringing in Jimmy to do, to basically, when you bring in Jimmy and Taj, you bring them in to basically say, hey, we are dogs, and we want y'all to run and be dogs on the defensive end with us, right? So you see Jimmy and Taj work. Even Jeff Teague is a solid defender. You bring in 3 solid defenders to a new team, to a young team, a veteran presence. One guy, borderline superstar, all-star player. The other guy, an older, more veteran type of presence who's been known for being a defender. And you bring in a guy who's a point guard who has been struggling, but is still at the very worst a solid defender that can give you 10 points a game, right? But when you introduce that into these 2 new, to Wiggins and Towns, they have to buy in. And I was reading an article, I think from whatever the ESPN's black site is about black athletes or whatever. No, the yellow one, the Undefeated.
Yeah, Undefeated.
And they were talking about Steve Kerr and how basically Steve Kerr, when he first got to the Warriors, he was telling them that they wanted to take their passing rate to whatever it was, like 233 up to 300 or near 300 or 280. That was their goal. And the Warriors played the Spurs and they got their ass blown out by the Spurs in that game. And after that game, they went on the tear, and then that's when Steph Curry kind of transformed into the next level. And after that game, Steve Kerr went into the locker room and was like, if you do what I tell you to do and you buy into it and you see it, nights like this won't happen. And from that game on, they went from whatever their average was around 270 to having the top, which was near 310. The same thing needs to happen with this Timberwolves team. They need to have a loss that's crushing enough for them to realize we cannot continue to think that we can just score points, and they're not even scoring that many points, and not defend and be able to win games. We have to buy in. And that comes to Cat, that goes to Wiggins, that goes to fucking everybody on the team. Because you can't win games with only Jimmy and only Taj playing defense. And occasionally Teague, because sometimes Tibbs don't even be leaving Teague on the floor. You putting fucking Crawford in there. So they have to buy in. Both of them. And that's why I'm disappointed. I'm saying Towns is having a pedestrian year because I expected him to be a undisputed all-star starting out this year. I expected Towns to be playing like Porzingis right now. And he's not.
Porzingis is going crazy right now.
And he's not. That's what I mean. So I'm going to take the Warriors to win this game.
That's also why y'all owe Phil Jackson a fucking apology.
Exactly. Hoopsandbrews.com. Which is, so I'm taking the Warriors to win probably like 125 to 107.
I'm taking the Warriors to win, but you know what? I actually think the T-Wolves make it somewhat difficult. As long as Jimmy is, because, again, Jimmy has missed a couple games this year. When Jimmy's on the court, this team is a much tougher team. just even the intensity that Jimmy brings defensively, and Jimmy knows how to win basketball games. I feel like a lot of the Timberwolves things was they didn't, at least regular season games, knows how to get you the wins in the regular season. Jimmy's been on a couple 50-win teams. Jimmy's led a team before. When it's winning time, he knows what to do. And I feel like that was something that was missing. Because, again, last year and the year before, they would always be cool. And then it'd be the third quarter or the fourth quarter when they would just lose it. Completely lose it. They didn't know how to win and close out games.
And even when they played the Thunder in both of their wins,
closed out the game.
Jimmy and Wiggins closed
out the games. So, again, they got Jimmy, they got Wiggins. Towns is gonna be difficult to guard down low for anybody. And also he can stretch out to the perimeter. I think the Warriors will still win the game, but I think they'll make it tough. I think it'll be a 10-point victory, but one of those 10, maybe even like a 13-point victory. But one of those 13-point victories where it's like they really won by like 7, but they just won by 13. I think they'll make it tough. I still think the Warriors will win. Because the Warriors' woes aren't really woes. They're just not interested right now.
Yeah, I mean,
they just don't look interested.
If you've won the most games in a 3-year streak in NBA history, you don't care.
You're not gonna be interested.
We coming out every night thinking we finna flame y'all up.
And
that don't
they
mean
can.
we are. Exactly.
They literally turn on in the third quarter, and they usually win most of those games.
Exactly. And the ones that they haven't won is because they turned it on too late.